FM, WCSR. I want to welcome the head coach of the Pittsford Wildcat football team, Mike Berger. Mike, how you been, my friend?
Very well, Andy. Thanks.
Hey, what does it feel like having the keys to this thing now? Obviously, serving as an assistant for decades, it seems like. I coached against you when we were both coaching JV back in the day, and now to be the head coach of the Wildcats. How does it feel so far?
It's been an experience. I mean, it's been a little rough. We're 0-2. We wish we'd started off a little better, but we're working hard, trying to get better. Those days back when we were doing JVs against each other, those were fun times for sure.
I loved coaching JV. I did it both. I had 4 years as varsity and, 7 or 8 at JV. And the varsity is really satisfying also. But those days at JV, it was all about just teaching kids. There was some of the other stuff that enters into it, and you probably know what I'm talking about. It doesn't kind of enter in as much at the JV level. It was a lot of fun. But I think about your Wildcat team, and there were some years in the recent past when Pittsford would have a kind of a slow start, but the mark of the team was that they were able to turn that around, and I know that's what you guys are looking to do this year.
We don't really worry about winning or losing.
Right.
That stuff takes care of itself. We're trying to get better every practice, just like everybody else, and we really focus in on those kind of things. We try to focus in on conditioning, execution, fundamentals, taking care of the football, and limiting mistakes. And we think if we can do those things, we're going to get better. And that's what we're looking at. And we want our kids to really enjoy their experience. Yeah. We think they do for the most part.
It's not like you guys scheduled a bunch of patsies to start the season with Ottawa Lake Whiteford, who a lot of people are talking about as being one of the better teams around at that division. And then, obviously Climax Scots, who you've had some wars with over the years in the second game. So you get off to an 0-2 start. And yet, just talking to you before you came in here, you do see some positives in your team.
Yeah, we're kind of behind the 8 ball in that we put in a new system, new coach, new system, new ideas, new thoughts. Same kind of style, smash it in your face type of thing. Get after it, play good, hard-nosed defense. But that put us behind a little bit, and we've had some struggles with that. Our schedule, it's our schedule. You can't control
right.
that. We play Colon next week, they're undefeated. Then the week after we play Bellevue, they're undefeated. So, you've got to beat some good teams to have a good season, and that's just the way it is. I'm sure Coach Lemoran and other coaches in the area are feeling the same thing. You got to beat good teams to get where you want to be, and that's it.
And with what's happening in our league with Burr Oak and Teconcha dropping out and becoming 8-man team, I mean, with all due respect to those two schools, those were teams that usually you could match up pretty well against. And so I guess my point is the SCAA is getting tougher all the time with the new schools that are coming in and a couple other ones dropping out.
I think that's a fair assessment. When you look at the last few years, we're sending a number of teams to the playoffs. Last year, Climax, us, Colon, all, won playoff games, and we're successful. So, I think that's a fair assessment. I think the SCAA is tougher than it has been in the past.
You talked about bringing in a new system. How is it different from what Coach Clement was running? I mean, I don't know how specific you want to get, but just kind of fundamentally, how is it different?
I would just say Coach Clement was more multiple. Mm-hmm. You knew you were going to get what we call our dive slant keeper series, and we have that, but we're more of a double wing. We run the toss, the traps inside. So just a different philosophy to get to the same ends, I guess. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the way I would look at it. And really the same emphasis on, blocking and fundamental football, just a different way of going about it. It's more of a system approach versus, we had those series approach. He had his plays that build off each other, and now we're running the series. I have less plays, 6, 8, 10 plays that I run on a regular basis. And we're looking for specific things, kind of like a Climax Scots, if you will.
Climax Scots, I've had some seasons when I thought they could have just run fullback trap the entire night, and we couldn't have stopped it. Even if they said, hey, we're running fullback trap, right now, we couldn't stop it because their guys were so well coached and executed that so well. And a lot of times coaches fall into that trap of trying to, out-coach the other team by creating all this offense, and then you can't run any of it right.
Right.
And then what good is that?
I kind of prescribe to that philosophy a little bit. I guess is less is definitely more. We want to keep it very simple. The kind of the KISS philosophy, if you will. And in some regard, it might be irritating to some people sometimes if you're not as successful as you'd like us to be. But we think in the long run that we're going to be successful doing what we do. We're going to get good at what we do, and we're going to be better at it than what you do.
Absolutely. Talking to Mike Berger and his guys here, Dylan Cooper and Kyle Wyatt. Tell me about the two guys you brought with you tonight.
Well, both these guys are two-way starters and senior captains for us. They're really hard workers and have been they're a big part of what we do. Kyle plays running back and outside corner linebacker for us, and Dylan is really an offensive tackle. But the first week of the season we lost our center, and so we had to move over there, and that was a big loss for us. But he's been doing a great job. And then he plays defensive end for us, and both hard workers.
Dylan, what's that been like moving down from tackle to center?
It's a big transition. I've never played center before, and I've always played guard until last year, and then I played tackle, so I had to learn that position. And coach just came to me. He's like, "Hey, you want to play center?" And so I took up the challenge. And
had you ever done it at practice or anything?
I did a little bit on the 7-on-7,
right,
but it was never full contact.
Are you guys mostly running shotgun, or is the quarterback right underneath you there?
Yeah, the quarterback's mostly underneath. Yeah, he is underneath me.
And Kyle, working out of the running back position, man, you look at the history of running backs at Pittsford High School. I mean, just think about it. It's incredible. I used to try to chase Jake Baxter down, and that didn't work out very well for me. I mean, Pittsford's got a rich football heritage, as you guys know. And Kyle, it's got to be kind of fun to be part of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, I get the chance to go in there and put my shoulders down and try to follow whoever was in front of me,
That always, as somebody that coached against you guys for all those years, the thing that always amazed me was your offensive line. You a lot of the times didn't have the biggest guys around, and so you'd look at it on tape and you'd think, well, we match up pretty well with these guys. And then the way that your linemen might get to the second and sometimes the third level, and the speed to which they do that is just incredible. And I know that's kind of the foundation of what you do offensively, isn't it?
Yeah, we're really focused in on that. And, we think that that's probably where the game's going to be won or lost. I think most coaches know that. The idea is to really get off. Our get off is so important to us, and getting to the next level and executing our schemes, like you said. And if you don't get that, if that doesn't occur, nothing, it doesn't matter what you do. So the offensive line play is absolutely critical. You saw that this weekend at Michigan. Their offensive line was really the reason they won the ball game, and Denard was able to run like he was. It's the reason why Coach Lemoran does so well at Hillsdale. It's the reason why Coach Bailey does so well in Reading.
Yep, it all starts up front in the trenches. We've talked a lot about offensive football tonight. Talk a little bit about your defense so far this year.
Well, we're a young team. We have really more sophomores that play on a regular basis than seniors. And, that's made it difficult, but we had outstanding senior leadership. They've done a great job. I couldn't ask for our seniors to do anything more. Chris Otis is doing our defense, doing a great job. We're kind of a multiple scheme. We're 5-2 in base, but we're multiple when we see things like the T. We see, things like inside-outside veer. We have to do some other things and make some adjustments. So we've done some things to help us. We're not playing as fast as I'd like yet. We're working on that. But youth tends to, when you're young and inexperienced, you tend to play with slow feet.
I think if you talk to Brian Cook over at NAJ about this right now he's sitting there, he's got 12, 13 seniors on his team, and he went through some of this with these guys a couple of years ago. And the idea is that that's going to pay off. You're making an investment in the future at that point in time. Now, you're going to win every game you can this year with these seniors, but you're also building up for the future, and that's got to be exciting too.
Well, I guess I haven't really thought about that. We talk about getting better every play, getting better every down, every practice, and we're focused on the here and now. If that stuff happens, it'll happen.
Right.
If we do our job today and tomorrow, and every day from now until then we're going to see dividends, we think. And we want our kids to have a great experience, and we think we're giving them that. We hope we are. We're trying like crazy.
Pittsford Wildcats so far 0-2, and as you mentioned, Colin coming up. Colin has been putting a lot of points on the board. What are they doing on the offensive side? Haven't watched their tape.
They're running a double wing, double wide. A lot of, I call it inside-outside veer with a quarterback. He's explosive. He's ran the ball, I think, over 70 times in 2 games. Just a tremendous athlete, fast. It's going to be a tall task to get after him. We think we've got a great plan. We like our plan. We think we have some opportunities, and we think we can move the ball offensively against them. So we're hoping for a battle. We want a battle. It's at our place. That's an advantage. So we've got some opportunities.
Absolutely, and that'll be a great one this coming Friday night. And we're back on Friday Night Football the way it belongs this weekend, and the Wildcats hosting Colin. Kyle, what are you doing on the defensive side of the ball?
I play cornerback and outside linebacker pretty much everywhere but the defensive line. So I mean,
They haven't put you at nose yet, huh?
no.
Hey, the season's not over yet.
We would if we thought he could do some business.
Hey, what are you doing on defense, Dylan?
I played defensive end,
Oh, that's
which
right.
is like an anchor spot too.
Get after that quarterback a little bit, work against, try to force the run back inside and that kind of thing. That Climax team is, we talked a little bit about them, but they're so disciplined in what they do. Now, all of the Lang brothers are gone, but Coach Lang's is still there. And, they keep it tight with the 2 tight ends and the 3 backs in the backfield and that kind of thing. And you go around the league now, a lot of teams trying to experiment with the spread and that sort of thing. Climax hasn't really changed much with what they do, and they continue to run it at you. How'd you guys respond defensively to that challenge?
I think we responded quite well. I mean, we gave up some points, but we fought awful hard. When we do things a little differently against them than we do other teams because of their system. But, we try to get hard and low and fill up in the gaps, and we try to read their guards, and we try to get to the ball. And, they rely on their deception and their power at the same time and beat teams because you don't know where the ball is. And we really work hard on teaching our kids to read our keys. And we think we did a fair job considering our youth and our inexperience. We could have done better, and our kids, I think, would say that. They're not satisfied, and they want to be better football players, and they're working hard in the classroom. Our classroom's the football field, of course, but they're trying to get better, and that's what we're doing. And it's going to happen, like Kyle and I were talking about on the way over. It's going to happen sooner or later. We all want it to happen sooner, and we hope it doesn't happen later. But at some point, it's going to all click in for us, and we're going to be a pretty doggone good football team.
Are you guys able, talking to the players, are you guys able to still, keep up your work in the weight room and that kind of thing during the season also?
Yeah, we put in a lot of off-season time, but just as much during the season. I mean, we weightlift 2-3 times a week.
Do you guys do that before or after practice? How do you manage that?
After usually.
Yeah, usually afterwards.
Nothing like having a good 2.5 hour practice and then coming in and pounding some weights, right? I mean, good way to rest up and cool down after the practice and that kind of thing. But you got to do it, because if you don't, then you lose what you got during the off season, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys have pretty good turnout for your off season stuff?
Oh yeah.
It has very good turnout this year, I thought.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I'll tell you what, man, I'm always pulling for you. I know it's just a matter of time, and you guys will be very, very successful there. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And when you do, how much fun is that going to be? I mean, that community is so supportive of your kids.
Oh, it's a tremendous community. It's a great place to coach, great place to teach. The kids are, amazing kids. Parents are so supportive. I've been coaching at Pittsford, I don't know, it seems like a lot longer than it probably has been. And I can count the number of times on one hand I've had any kind of serious issue. Parents just really support the community and the kids, and they just want the kids to have a good experience. And if we're successful, they're satisfied. But if the kids are having fun and working hard and getting better, I think they're satisfied with that as well. They want to win. Don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to win. We want to win now just like everybody else. And but I also think that, the field is an extension of your classroom. And it's about teaching kids to be good people, to be good adults with character, work ethic, commitment, all the things that make you a successful adult. I really appreciate you supporting us, That means a lot coming from an old ex-Redskin.
Well, I do. I like the way you guys play ball. I mean, even when you were bashing our brains in, we respected we didn't like it at the time, but we respected what you guys did. You guys actually get to play Camden this year after it was weird, a couple of years there where we didn't face up. And, we wish you the best against Colon. It's a home game. You're hosting it Friday night, 7 o'clock. Pretty good SCAA ball game, and good luck to you guys.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Dylan Cooper, Kyle Wyatt, have a great senior season, guys. Thank you for being here.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. The captains and the head coach, Mike Berger, and the Wildcats against Colon Friday. We appreciate the time. We've got Tiger Baseball coming up next right here on WCSR.